Hi, this is Bonnie Burkert, and you are listening to Truth Be Told Transformation, bringing you tools for transformation to live your highest and best life. I've long been teaching and studying Kundalini Yoga. And a big part of the reason that I started with that practice, it's been almost 20 years now, is because I loved the mantras that went with it. I found that chanting mantras really helped me find a peace and calm. So I've invited to the show today a woman whose music has really informed my practice for all this time. Welcome, Snatam Kaur.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here with you.
Satnam
And I
Sanatam.
also share the love for mantra.
So, yeah, I did my teacher's training 15 years ago now in Los Angeles, just so you know. And truly, your music, it was pretty much every class. And I just wanted to let everybody know, all the listeners know that, truly, your music is heard in yoga studios throughout the world.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I started out, I became a yoga teacher as well in my early 20s. And I started playing live music in classes. And actually, that really inspired me to want to make music. And I was really thinking so much about the classes when I recorded my first album, and then every album since then. How can this music support people in their yoga class experience?
Yeah, it's true. Well, I think there's a great build because I think in a lot of times in our Kundalini Kriyas, the exercises, the sequence of exercises, it's wonderful to start gently and in a meditative song and in part of the song, and then it builds. So I just want to let everyone know with this upcoming record, you're going to have a number of tracks to practice to that way. And right, so is that intentional? Starting off slow and then giving us the build?
Yeah, I find um, I find with Kundalini yoga practice, and then with just the practice of chanting, that um, doing breath work, doing movement with the body. Um, Really opens up, blood flow, glandular system, energy. And then so the chanting then becomes so sweet after all of that kind of initial um, tuning in. So I think, yeah, starting slow. I always like to start with like some breath, and then, in my yoga classes, like stretching and movement a little bit, and then relaxation. And then that's when I teach chanting um, for people to chant, because then it's just like, wow, it's such a beautiful, deep experience that way.
I have a really specific question about the practice because I agree, and that's one of the things that I experience in this form of yoga is that it was good to have some movement, breath, and then I was able to get to meditation more easily. So a lot of times, though, your music is so great. I feel like moving while sitting in the specific meditations that are instructed a certain way. And for those people that don't practice, Kundalini Yoga works with mudras a lot. Sometimes we're moving our arms, in addition to the finger positions, there's arm movements and things like that. Yet I feel like moving my whole body. And I wonder, this is a very specific question about teaching and the posture. Is it wrong? Is the energy able to flow better if we keep a straight spine and then work with the different mudras and perhaps arm movements?
Yeah, that's such a good question, because sometimes there are specific meditations where it's really important to just keep a straight spine, and the energy can actually flow more easily in that stillness. Um, and so, but there's also times too when when I'm teaching, when I just ask people just to chant, um, just to enjoy chanting. And and just to do it in a devotional way without having to hold a posture or anything like that. So and people, are invited to move their spine and just enjoy and be in the devotion of it. So I think there's kind of, and certainly in my concerts, people will tend to move and just, um, you know, uh, enjoy the mantras that way. So I think there's two ways of doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I can see that. And I did, I was thinking about your concerts when you were answering. It's like I bet in person. I've never had a chance to see you perform. And everybody, this is all taping in April 2022, and Sanatam will be touring this summer, starting in a month in May 2022. And you're hitting so many places again now. Let's go ahead and talk about the tour since it comes up. Are these new cities that you'll be visiting for the first time?
There are some places where I've never been to, and I'm really excited. I've never played in Vienna, never played in Bucharest, so that's really exciting. A number of these cities we had scheduled back in 2020, and that's when the pandemic hit, and our entire tour had to be postponed for 2 years. And I'm just amazed because most of the people hung on to their tickets this whole time.
Oh.
And yeah, it's really beautiful. So um, we're going to, really connect with that audience and say thank you for being so supportive. Um, and also, it's pretty phenomenal just to kind of get out there again and and be on tour again. I'm really excited to do it.
Oh, it's going to be great. I can only imagine the receptions is going to be phenomenal. And you're going to Eastern Europe. It's really, really profound that you are bringing your energy and love and these mantras, which I think help us really find peace and a deep calm and hopefully positivity for one's life. You're going into a region of the world that really needs it right now.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and it's something that I think about every day, um, and I feel really connected to what's happening there in the Ukraine right now. And in fact, in every single concert, I'm committing to doing a meditation for peace, and hopefully we can help to shift the energy of the planet with these collective prayers. There's a beautiful meditation that one can do and practice to the Satnarayan mantra. So we'll be doing that every single concert wherever we are, and sending all of those good vibes to the Ukraine, to Russia, and to our collective peace on our planet.
That's so beautiful. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that sound current, because I'm a firm believer in it, how it can help us as individuals, but it transcends. There's a radiance that gets projected from us that I feel we can pay forward, that it helps people, we feel it, and hopefully it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'd love to invite you to talk a little bit more about really what's happening to us physically when we chant.
Yeah, I because of my practice of yoga and meditation, I've really come in tune with for me what's happening, and this is what I feel is that within each of us we have a core vibration, a core vibratory frequency that really affects everything in our lives, and from that core vibration, then our thoughts are generated. From those thoughts, then our words are generated, and then through those words, then our actions are generated. So chanting is a really beautiful way to really affect that core vibratory frequency, and it's just kind of like it's the frequency of who you are, um, without without any struggles, without any challenges, without anything. It's just your soul vibration.
Mm.
So chanting is a way that we can really connect with that inner core frequency, along with breath work and meditation. But chanting is a way we can kind of disconnect our minds in a way, and affect this core vibration in a positive way. And I like to think about the chants as really, just positive affirmations. The Ang Sang Waheguru, which is one of our new tracks, means the divine is dancing in every cell and fiber of my being. And, wow. And so when we chant that, we're bringing that awareness to ourselves, but it's happening on a cellular level. It's not a mental level. It's like we're speaking to the actual cells within our being. Our the cells in our toes, in our hair, and everything. We're connecting on a very deep level into that core vibratory frequency, of saying yes. Yes to the divine is dancing and living and breathing within me in every cell and fiber of my being. That's Aung San Wayuru. That's one mantra. And each mantra has its particular focus and intention, which really goes beyond the mind. It's kind of a soul thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and just so everybody knows, the introduction of the show was a little sample of Sanatam's new version of Aung San Waheguru, and we'll make sure that the link is on our YouTube page so that you can have a chance to find it wherever you stream your music. And it's definitely a personal favorite, and I've had a chance to listen to Sanatam's new album called Nirankar. Did I say correctly? Did I pronounce it
Yes.
correctly?
Yep.
So
Beautiful.
let's talk about that. What does it mean, Nirankar?
Yeah, Nirankar means, it means Nirankar means, the divine that manifests in the unknown in ways that we can't really know or see or perceive of. It's how the divine manifests in, the unseen and the unknown world. And for me, this has been, um, this time of the pandemic, of, not being able to have my normal, getting out there and teaching and being in concerts and all of these things. I really had to come into an interior space, and connect with the divine in ways that were kind of unknown to me. Just singing in my own living room, and but finding God there and finding the divine there, in the midst of the unknown. So that's what the Nirankar means, and to me, it's so important for me right now in this time of my life, because I feel like there's so many unknowns for myself. I feel for all of us.
Yes.
So I hope that it helps people to connect within that unknown and feel the divine, and feel trusting to walk forward in the unknown and unseen, and maybe walk outside of our comfort zone, so to speak, and do so with love in our hearts and a sense of connection to the divine.
Yes, I love that. I feel that the connection, but also it's almost like we have to. It's almost right. I mean, it's one of the reasons I'm doing my podcast is I feel that we should be putting this forward, these ideas, with love and letting people know, because there's so much fear out there and anger, and I just feel that we can't not trust in a.
I agree, and I feel like, it's great. It's actually great to say yes. It is time to come out, and perhaps even to say, look, I'm sorry. To say, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm doing my best, or um, to come through with, a willingness to step into who we are in two of the roles that are there uh, for us, whether we're perfect, whether we made mistakes, all of these things, and to really just connect with the true essence of who we are and deliver that. Yes, I feel that's Nirancar for me. That this album is providing that avenue for me. I hope it provides that for other
That's
people
great.
as well with all the different mantras.
Yeah, so let's talk about. First, I'm going to start by saying that these mantras are in Gurmukhi, ancient language from India. And this is Sanatam has been singing all her life, right? You know these mantras all your life, and yet you make for us records that are beautiful. It doesn't matter that we don't understand the words or know what these words mean, even though you do make it possible for us to learn them and want us to learn them. But the instrumentation is great, but we're going to have, let's see, what do we have? 10 tracks on the record. 10 different
There's a
mantras.
total of 8.
So why don't you tell us a little bit? Why don't you just kind of go down the list? Because once the record's out on May 13th, we can people can reference this and learn a little bit about each track. So will you tell us a little bit about each mantra?
Sure, yeah. I'll start off with the first single that we released, and this mantra, this track is called Akal. So Akaal, and Akal means without death, and it's a chant that in the Sikh tradition it's done when to chant for someone, for a soul that's left, so a loved one that's left and has died, and to help their soul, merge with the one and the infinite, and let go of the earthly plane. And to bring healing also as well to loved ones who have lost this person or this soul.
I felt that when I first
And
heard it. Yes, it was. In fact, I had just chanted it because somebody, I had lost somebody, and then I heard that you had this new single, and it was on that same day, and it was so beautiful to have that, because it's true. We are in mourning, but I feel that, and we don't know what to do when we've lost somebody. So to have a mantra like that, Akal, it really is a beautiful, beautiful chant. So I'm glad that you included
yeah,
that one.
yeah, it's times like that are really um, challenging. So I wanted to be able to put this mantra out there for people to be able to chant in those kinds of situations when they've lost a loved one. And it's also as well a yogic practice, or just a meditative practice, to tune into the concept of a call of deathlessness within each of us, and that's been super key for me now. I feel that if I can tune into that space of deathlessness of my soul nature, then I can live more fearlessly, and really just in who I am. So I'm also hopeful that that people utilize it as I've been able to as well, to connect with that soul nature and really just fly with that. Um, so that's a call, and then let's see, the our next single that we released is called Soul Prayer. So it's interesting because I didn't really plan it out this way, but it's perfectly. We start off with a call with tuning into the soul nature and the deathlessness of the soul, the infinite nature of the soul, and then tuning into, well, what is the soul's prayer? So um, we have our conscious prayers and things that we're praying for, but the soul prayer is much deeper, and it's really that kind of prayer. I believe that what the prayer that comes from the soul is beneficial for all beings, because the soul is really connected to all beings and is really of that divine nature. So we may not consciously know what the soul's prayer is, but this mantra, I feel, connects us with that energy of the soul's prayer. And this track starts off with an invocation from the Sikh tradition, that's really about coming to a place of humility with our prayers, um, and letting go of the ego and really placing oneself into the will of the divine. And then we chant the mantra Ardas Bai, which is a prayer that invokes the guardian like angel energies of the third and the fourth Sikh gurus of the Sikh tradition. You don't have to be Sikh to connect. And the third guru, Guru Amar Das, brings this energy of compassion and connection to family. And Guru Ram Das, the fourth guru, brings the energy of healing and transformation. So these guardian-like angels can kind of witness the prayer from the devotee, and then Sachi Sahi at the end. Then the prayer is supported and affirmed. So this soul prayer is about connecting. What is my soul's prayer? And
That's a lovely distinction between maybe the sort of prayer of our the 3D world, if you will, kind of the basic, and just knowing that there's something that's more transcendent, that we are that much more transcendent. And
yeah,
I,
it's a really beautiful place to come from. But it does take a lot of just surrender of the mind. Like, okay, oh, this place is going to come from my own silence and my own spaciousness within. So the mantra is really helpful, I think, to finding that spaciousness. And I'm really grateful to my band. For the music for this track and all of the tracks that really help it to fly.
oh, indeed. That's a great way of putting it, for sure.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit about Aung San Waheguru,
Yes.
which is a favorite. So again, I mean, the resonance of the cells, of each and every cell in our body. So
Yeah, to me this mantra is like it's a warrior's mantra. it's it Wow, I don't know how to describe it, but in my life it's given me like such a sense of courage and inner strength. Um, and um, and it was chanted actually by the Sikh warriors, which is my faith and my tradition, um, in times of battle. And I just feel I feel like it gives me a sense of resiliency, kind of no matter what life um, throws my way. And I actually utilize this mantra in my daily life, as well. Aung San Waheguru, Aung San Waheguru. Anything comes up, any challenge, and I just say to myself, Aung San Waheguru. And this means the divine is dancing and living and breathing in every cell and fiber of my being, but not just my being, but the whole creation as well. And yeah, so I just kind of say it regularly to
okay.
myself, to remember that. And I'm so happy that we have music for it. And the tabla on this piece, the Sukhmani plays tabla with me. She's in my band, and she just, oh my God, it's so powerful. The way she played tabla, it just brings me that sense of the courageous warrior, of course the peaceful warrior, but wow, I think every warrior needs some tabla.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And we all have to be warriors right now. But again, the peaceful warrior. It's interesting. We just had I had a conversation last week with a guest that was talking about, unfortunately, change to bring on change. We want to use peace, but sometimes we have to be strong as well.
Oh yeah, I think so. And it's certainly that time. And I feel like there's an internal voice that just knows now's the time to speak or now's the time to act. And I'm learning more and more to trust that flow and say, yep, it's time. Okay, let's get the courage going. Let's get, my inner strength up and, you
Right.
know,
It's even a little bit fierce because I've heard other versions of that particular mantra. And there is, I mean, you could hear that perhaps it was used by warriors. There was almost like a march. It was almost like a march or something like that. And so, yes, everybody, you've got a beautiful album here that you can listen to start to finish. Very uplifting and beautiful and meaningful. And yet these mantras live on their own in other forms. I mean, you can just adopt them and have them as, I don't know, the soundtrack in your mind rather than the negative self-talk or getting angry at somebody cutting you off in traffic. Find these words. I mean, Snatam has given us melodies to go with mantras that are very powerful themselves.
yeah. And just Aung Waheguru is a great affirmation. Say for example, you have the thought of, oh, I really just messed that up. You had a challenging conversation with somebody and you stuck your foot in your mouth. Oh, I just really messed that up. And then you can just say, oh, but Aung San Waheguru, like, okay. And it just totally shifts the whole energy, right? So that's how I kind of utilize mantra. It's like, okay, well, the God is living and breathing inside of me and I'm going to pick myself up and it's okay.
It's a reminder. And Sonatam, thanks for being real because honestly, we we hold you in this angelic esteem. So no pressure or anything like that. But hey, you're revealing that, even you have to deal with, I don't know, dishes.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to have our interview right in front of my iron pan. So that
Just as a reminder of what you've got to go back to after you talk with us. So
yeah.
tell us a little bit more. You've got several other mantras. Do you have favorites? Any favorite track on this record stand
Oh
out for you?
gosh. Well, the next mantra that's coming out next Friday is called Omkar Nirankar, and this mantra I composed the tune for, um, and then the band helped me to create this beautiful soundscape, and then also just the mantra itself. It just brings so much peace. So Omkar Nirankar. So Omkar is how the divine manifests in ways that we can perceive of, in ways that we can be aware of in the rivers and the streams and the mountains and the air and in the experience of getting a hug from a friend and all of these ways that we know and we can see and sense. And then Nirankar is how the divine manifests in the ways that we can't perceive of. And so the mantra moves back and forth between these two energies of being in the known divine and being in the unknown divine. And then through that journey, we're able to, through that polarization, I would say, we're able to come and be in the center of our beings in really the quiet center. That's how I feel this mantra works. And to me, it just gives me so much stability and an experience of depth. So I'm really, I don't know the word, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to share this energy with the world. And this chant, we talked about the rolling tablas and the energy, and this chant is much more on the super peaceful side. I would imagine people could use it for relaxation, and listening meditations, and of course chanting along as well.
Now, it's great. And you are doing workshops to teach us all more of the specifics and how to work with these four mantras that you've just spoken about, right? So you've had a couple of the workshops and there are new ones to come. So,
Yes.
yeah, tell us
Yeah.
about your online school.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, yeah, we have two workshops that are already posted on my YouTube channel, Snatam Kaur, um, on the Akal mantra and on the Ardas Bai mantra. And then we have two more coming. So next week on April 13th, I'll be teaching a meditation utilizing the mantra Ang Sang Waheguru. Um, and I've been practicing it. It gives me so much energy. And then 2 weeks after that, I'll be teaching about Onkar Nirankar and a special breath meditation to practice along with that. And yeah, I teach out of this online school that my husband and I founded called Kirtan and Kundalini. And it's our total love and passion. We've been having this dream for forever to be able to teach like this and have our own school. And when the pandemic happened, we were able to, I guess, pivot, and also we had a lot of extra time, and we were able to start this school. So I teach a weekly mantra and meditation class. My husband teaches regular Kundalini yoga classes, and my mother teaches as well a regular class on shabads, or sacred poems from the Sikh tradition that she is connected to. And I have a series of courses for people to learn how to play the harmonium. And Sukhmani teaches tabla. In addition to, we have a acupressure and Kundalini yoga teacher, Amanbir, who teaches people how to do their own acupressure and have their own Kundalini yoga practice for, finding peace and, de-stressing. And so it's a really incredible thing that's happened just over the last 2 years. And people can become members. We have a really beautiful little community, and I know everybody really well. The classes are on Zoom, so there's ample time for connection. We have people from all over the world who are becoming very close, and it's beautiful, really beautiful.
That's great. I mean, in some ways, that's one good thing that came out of the pandemic, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You've been traveling so much, but by taking the time to create the school and so many good offerings, I mean, really amazing offerings, people from all over, you can't go everywhere all the time. People from all over can find you. I have to admit, I was looking at your videos, I believe it was on YouTube, and I just love to see, there's a lot of people with commenting in so many different languages. I mean, a lot of Spanish. I know I spent time in Mexico, and everybody knew you down there, Snatam. It's really just, you have a voice, and that really touches us all. And I mean, hey, there's a great story. You have to look it up. There's a great story about Oprah being a big fan of Snatam's as well. So I'll let people scratch around for that. I'm not going to out you there, but just moving. I really want you to know, there's been many a time sitting on the yoga mat that I have been moved to tears, and it's happy tears. It really is. Or, maybe it was something that needed to go, but it was really moving. I want all the listeners to really seek out Snatam. Her new record is May 13th in 2022. If you're catching this, in another time, but you've put out a beautiful body of work. You've got all kinds of amazing singles, and I know this is just going to add to your repertoire and inspire us all the more.
Thank you so much. And it's really a labor of love, and so I really appreciate, just being able to share with you and in this way. It's been really sweet.
It's great. Come back anytime. Tell us more about your tour.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure we'll have lots of stories.
Right. Well, thank you for spreading the peace. And once again, if you happen to be listening on Apple or Spotify, head over to our YouTube channel, because we'll make sure that all the links are there to find Snatam's new music and these mantras. You can ask either of us any questions. You can certainly find us on social media. Snatam, thank you. Best wishes to you. I'll say Satnam in the true meaning, the true sincere greeting of us Kundalini yogis. Truth is my name. So again, truth be told, we love that here.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to connect with you and to have this time to get to know you a little bit better. Thank you so much.
We'll talk soon, definitely. Be well. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Everybody, I really am so grateful to be able to share these tools with you. As mentioned, I feel that yoga comes in lots of styles. It doesn't have to just be about being a pretzel on the mat. It can really be about devotion and reverence. And my conversation with Snatam Kaur is just further proof that the healing power of mantras. So I hope you have a chance to listen. Even if you don't feel like chanting, the music's beautiful. So once again, it's Bonnie Burkert for Truth Be Told Transformation. We're so glad you're here. Be sure to follow and subscribe and share wherever you can. Don't forget Mondays live with Robert Hemsley for the Minuteman Report. And on Friday, Tony Sweet, yeah, live on Fridays. Tony's here going, come on, you can say it, Fridays. And stay tuned for other great news that we've got coming up with all kinds of new events as well. Until the next time, be well, everybody. Shine on.